welcome back to the channel. I am the code searcher Jonathan, and can you guess what I want to talk to you about? That's right, this upcoming solar eclipse. I don't mean to make light of it either, because historically the ramifications of this kind of event usually is very profound. So please allow me to take a few minutes of your time to show you a few things that I've come across and what I've discovered in the codes. Now, there were, I don't know, 100 of you that saw a video I uploaded around 3 o'clock in the morning, and I very promptly took it down. And I just want to explain that. When you stops me 3 times from doing a video or putting up a table, I know it's very clear there's something else he wants to show me. So the table I had was incomplete, and that is why the video came down. And indeed, he showed me some more things that were extremely well, convincing. If you would allow me to show you this to you, I think you'll see something really profound here as well. So without further ado, let's just look at solar eclipses historically. And I want to thank Brother Steve at Discover Ministries, who brought this to my attention in one of his recent presentations. August 21st, 1914. Now, the solar eclipse we're going to see is August 24th, 2017, so roughly 100 years ago, thereabouts. There was a solar eclipse that went across Europe, and not too long after that, folks, well, as a matter of fact, I think World War II was just getting started, about 2 months in, and then there was a solar eclipse. Now, this is always throughout time have been a bad omen or some sort of sign from the Most High. He's telling us something. The scriptures are very clear that he uses signs and wonders from the sun, moon, and stars to communicate with the Mazzaroth. Now, at World War I, some 9 million combatants were killed, and 7 million more civilians died after that. So take that in consideration. It was a solar eclipse, a very profound one. And then World War I, incidentally, there was one also in World War II, even greater casualties there. But before we go to World War II, June 8th, 1918, the path that you're going to see here in August is the very same path that went across the United States in 1918. Now, why is this significant? Well, at the time that this went across, America was entering into what would be the worst pandemic the world had ever seen up until that time. Some 500 million people were affected by this, and some 100 million died. I think it's somewhere around 670,000 Americans. So at the time of the crossing of this eclipse, America was just getting started with a plague that was striking the nation, and this thing went right across, just as it's going to do in just less than a month from now. So that's August 21st, 2017, the very same path. Now, does this mean anything? Does it mean there's going to be war? Is there going to be a plague? What's going to happen? I'm not saying something's going to happen on the day, folks. Please, I'm not making any predictions here. I'm making a educated observation here, and then I'm about to show you something in the scriptures that the Father put there 3,500 years ago, because the access term we're going to look at is Eclipse 777, which is the Hebrew year 5777. This year, Jubilee, quite possibly, and here we have this very significant solar eclipse upon us. So let me just, before we go there, I want to take you back to Yellowstone first. Because not too long ago, we just talked about Yellowstone. And if you recall, it has the eclipse in here. You see, this particular table is a Torah code. It is found exclusively in the Torah. And I believe it does resonate judgment. It's very clear of that. Many of you are looking for this rapture to take place in September. Well, I believe there's a catching away that is definitely connected. Yeshua will fulfill the remaining feast to the moment. But I do believe it's connected to the second coming, not a pre-trib rapture. We will see some tribulation, folks. It's very clear. Yeshua said, "Ye shall see tribulation." Now, the reason I'm bringing this table out before I show you what I just found, and I was so motivated to get a video out to you at 3 o'clock in the morning that there were 3 different things that happened that caused me not to do that. So I knew there was something else they wanted to show me. This verse that runs through there, if you recall from the video I did on Yellowstone, is talking about the destruction of this rebellious people because of their sins, yada, yada, yada. You'll see it in the next table I'm going to show you. But notice here it has plagues in here. So we are at, apparently in this table, close to the seals. The 6th seal is mentioned. There are several dates, and the current year is also up here. Now, fast forward over to the table I'm talking about. Now, the Yellowstone table, this is the same one you just saw. This is my file here, not the annotated. And if you recall from the last presentation we did on this, I'll just update you. Nibiru was found here in reverse. This is a planetary body that is possibly connected to Wormwood of Revelation 8 and will make an interaction with our solar system, I believe, and will cause chaos, plasma discharge, and the like. We have earthquakes over here, a time of Sukkot. Sukkot is a Hebrew a feast of Yahuwah that is still yet to be fulfilled. It is the very last one, tabernacles, when we tabernacle with Him. So it just happened to be lined up with earthquakes. That's a significant anomaly there. So Wormwood, Nibiru, earthquakes, we covered that. Let's go to the other one now. Now this is what I just pulled up last night. Really not a lot of time in it. A few hours last night, into the night, into the morning, and it's a few hours today. Several things I did find like this here, since, and this, and a couple things down here since I tried to do that video. So you're in luck. There's more content here. Just hang in there. It's because I want to show you the correlation between historical fact, things that have already happened, with a solar eclipse. You will use it as a harbinger of warning, folks. So we have the eclipse, Tav Shenan Zayin, which is 777 Hebrew year we are currently in. We have the word plague going across there. What we have highlighted here with the United States running through there is the very same one you just saw in Yellowstone. You see Nibiru right there? It's the same one. See, it's running in reverse, and here's the verse I was just talking about we're talking about destroying this people because of their wickedness, right? Well, here's a new anomaly that came up. It's really profound. I don't know what it means. I had to double check it with Darla. Even got out the dictionary to make sure I was right before I did this video, because I was just kind of blown away by it. But we got Turah, which is trumpets. This is the very same word, Yom Turah, which is, if you want to call it Rosh Hashanah, this is the time of trumpets up at the top. In the skip of -50, folks. Now this is got Jubilee written all over it. In reverse, it's Et Zerah, which is a time of trouble. Right? Then we have a comet involved. There's a comet. There's also next year. So we have the current year and then next year as well. Next year is also down here with the Nibiru and Wormwood coming together. There's also those 3 letters. Mot is death. We also got the United States down here War. That's the other thing. Remember how the connection with the solar eclipse. Traditionally, with these tables that are dealing with the end times that I've been showing you, we've seen war 3 times, which have told me World War III, World War III. However, there have only been a few times where war clusters in more than one occasion, and it kind of stands out. So we have it here actually in 5 times in the plain text, and then 1 time in a smaller ELS. It is actually all over this table, but I streamlined it down to only the smallest and kept those. It seemed to make out a pattern. We do have the word Zophon in here, which is hidden. Back up to this anomaly. That very same word you see there in the blue is here in the plain text. The plagues, remember plagues from Yellowstone. You see right there. It's the very same word. We've got Nibiru over here. So that is it right there. Now running down, we have Netzer Arav. Netzer Arav with Ketz and the fallen. Connecting to Nibiru. Now what's Netzer? Netzri is where it comes from. Nazareth. Yeshua of Nazareth is the Netzer, a branch. It is also the word used for Paul. Was it in Acts, Darla?
Yeah, Matt.
Where they refer to Paul as the Netzri, from the sect of the Netzri. It means guardian or watchman. It is also the term used for the first believers. The body was called the Netzri. It was not called the church, folks. So the very same word for the body is the very same word for the watchman or the guardians. The guardians of what? The guardians of the way. The guardians of the truth. Okay, so connected with Nibiru and plagues and fallen and Ketz, which means the end, is the very base word of this word here, which is Achret Hayamim, which is the end of days. It's the very same. When you permutate those 2 letters together, it means the end, the very end. It is very clear to Hebrew-speaking people when they see those, it means the end. And you have Netzer Arav, which means the ambush of the watchman. There's an ambush involved with Nibiru. Could it mean that it catches them unaware? There are not many of us that talk about this star. I know one good friend of mine, Planet 7X researcher, Gil Broussard, sees the same kind of connection. It is a harbinger. It's connected to the end of days for sure. So there's a Netzer of Arav, an ambush of the watchmen or the guardians. Down here, let's go to the verse. First, let's just look at that one there. So we can confirm this is the very same one. Excuse me. From Yellowstone. And we're in Bamidbar, 14th chapter, 35th verse. And I, Yahuwah, have said, I will surely do unto all this evil congregation that are gathered against me in this wilderness. They shall be consumed, there they shall die. So it has the United States in that verse right there, folks. I've also seen this connected in another one, a Shemitah table that we did back in the time of the Shemitah, where this same verse run right through, connected to judgment and other things. So he's been warning us a while. Many warnings compiled on to one another. We need to pay attention. Now I'm going to take you down to this one. This is a promise to the remnant, which is Isaiah 35:10. And the ransom of Yahuwah shall return and come to Zion with songs of everlasting joy upon their heads, and they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and the slighting shall flee away. And then down here, let's look at Joel first. Here in Joel, there's 2 mentions of war in this one verse. So I didn't highlight it, but we'll take a look at it just because I think it's profound. It's the 4th chapter of Joel. Check out what's happening here. There's a sickle for the harvest is ripe. Where do you hear that for? Not only in Joel, but you also hear this in Revelation. All right, so let me just back you up. And we'll get the context of what's happening in Joel. This is yet to happen, right? The end of days is a benchmark in time, folks. It happens some 14 times in the plain text, and he's always referring to the times you're living in now. So what I'm about to read you applies to now. Keep that in mind. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all the nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them for they are my people, and for my heritage Yisrael, whom they have scattered among the nations. Right? Remember Ezekiel 4, where he is told, the time frame of the exile and the diaspora, he was going to scatter them for their sins. Scatter them among the nations, and parted my land. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? If ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly present things. And the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold to the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. The Greeks, right? Behold, I will raise them out of the place where ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. And I will sell your sons and your daughters in the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabines, to a people far off. For Yahuwah has spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare for war. What? So, we're talking about a solar eclipse. He's telling the Gentiles, prepare for war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. What are you seeing in the news right now, folks? With North Korea, with the United States, just fired a Minuteman III ICBM shore force. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say that I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourself together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahuwah. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. What is this? This is Armageddon. Armageddon. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And here's where I just mentioned, put ye the sickle, the harvest is ripe. There's a gathering coming up. Get you down, for the press is full, for the fats overflow. Their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision for the day of Yahuwah. Same word that's right here. For the day of Yahuwah is near in the valley. Not in the same verse. We're not even here. This is another time it appears. For the day of Yahuwah is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yahuwah also shall roar out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahuwah will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. So ye shall know that I am Yahuwah your Elohim, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. And then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. And obviously I kept going, but let me before we close this out, I want to read you this next one, because this is the very last of your Tanakh before it goes into the New Testament. We are in Malachi. What does he promise there? 3:22. Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb for all of Israel the statutes and the judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahuwah. That same word there we just talked about in Joel appears again. He shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse. That's what I got highlighted there. So, with that, I'm going to close it out on this. This is what I have for you in this presentation, folks, and I hope you can see the connection to the Scriptures. I mean, the Father has this. Clearly, it's there, encoded in His Word. 3,500 years ago, He put this very day with a benchmark of the time we're in, the end of days, and all this information is encoded in this matrix. It tells you something. It tells you to pay attention to what is about to happen. Folks, if you want to get involved, I would encourage you. Come train and learn Hebrew. Do some codes. There's room for you in the school. All you need to do is go to thecodesearcher.com/apply and set up an appointment. We'll talk on the phone. We'll get you in the class. We are getting into some new things. There's a lot to search out, folks. The Book of Enoch, new code programs we're getting designed. A lot of exciting things. Please get involved. And if you want to get involved some other way, donate to the ministry. You can also go to thecodesearcher.com/donate if you want to help out. So until the next video, shalom, and we'll see you then.